So let's talk about the hardware and software tools you need to pen test IoT device. When pen testing IoT devices, you have to open devices to check, analyze, and exploit them. The first tool you're going to need is a good set of screwdrivers. I recommend you spend a little extra on some good quality ones and some specific tools that can help you to open the device like a mobile phone, and even consider a plug for removing some covers or screens. Those will be very handy and you use them daily. Multimeter is essential. Most of the time, you only be measuring DC voltage and using the continuity test. For IoT penetration testing, you won't be commonly using it for measuring currency, capacitance, frequency, temperature, and so on. So don't worry too much about those features, especially if you are just beginning. The continuity tester of your multimeter should be loud, fast. If you are going to be working with main voltage cars or EVs, I should suggest reputable brands such as Fluke, IM Probe, or Bremen. One of the applicable use of a multimeter for IoT pen testing will be for identifying pinouts like ground, the VCC, and the RX. So if you don't know how to solder, you probably aren't testing IoT properly. A good quality soldering iron or a soldering station will help take you pen testing of IoT devices to the next level. The majority of the time, you will likely use it for soldering pin headers into debug pads or desoldering some other specific electronic component. One of the first things you're going to do when pen testing an embedded device is to debug headers. While you can usually spot them based on common pin layouts, line of 4 is usually UART and 10 or 14 is usually a JTAG. It is very rare that each pin will be labeled for you. So if you got suspected debug ports, you can then hook up the logic analyzer and see exactly what kind of activity is happening on each pin. They are also a handy tool to have it when it comes to debugging or repairing electronics. Saleae is a reference brand, but if you are looking for a cheaper device, I recommend the DS Logic Plus or the Saleae clone. Moving to a set of more specialized tools, the JTAG is an open source hardware tool that assists in identifying on-chip debug, OCD, interfaces from test points via component pads or connectors on a target device. HackRF 1 from Great Scots Gadgets is a software-defined radio peripheral capable of transmission or reception of radio signals from 1 MHz to 6 GHz, designed to enable the test and development of modern and next-generation radio technologies. HackRF 1 is an open-source hardware platform that can be used as a USB peripheral or program for standalone operation. The Ubertooth 1 is an open-source 2.4 GHz wireless development platform suitable for 2.4 GHz experimentation based on the powerful LPC 175X ARM Cortex-M3 controller microcontroller with full speed USB 2.0. The Ubertooth 1 is a great way to develop custom class 1 devices. The entire board is only 2.5 inches long with USB-A connector at the end and an RP-SMA connector at the other end. For protocol communication, will be very useful to get a hold of an Adafruit FT232H, a Bus Pirate V3.6 plus the probe cables, HFI badge, Jupiter Shikra, and a Hydra bus. And those are just to start. We'll be talking more about these and other tools during the course.